Okay, so welcome back to part 3 of our session. Howie and Rose, you guys have just exited the Denver house with money in tow and a favor owed.
Wow, that rhymed.
Thank you.
I don't think it did, actually.
It sort of did.
It
Trust
sort
me.
of did.
It's a
It was a
slight
half
rhyme.
rhyme.
So do you guys just want to meet up with the party? With the rest of
Yeah,
the
let's go
brothers
back
and bells?
to the Denver house.
Yeah, but we're
Actually,
Okay.
I think our
taking
Denver house is expired, so we should probably go back
Yes.
the entire
the
house.
Bell house.
Expired. Yeah.
Okay.
We're taking
So-
evasive maneuvers, though.
The rest of the brothers and bells, you guys have had about 4 hours. What have you guys been up to in 4 hours?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. They
Orgy.
took way longer.
Cocaine.
Did you say orgy?
What did you?
My man went to the red
Padre
light
loves
district.
his orgies.
As a married woman, she's not having any part of that.
Orgies. No.
Yeah, Father Indiano loves those orgies.
All
Ellen
priests did.
has been before the Denver house reservation expired, has been enjoying some nice food and probably chatting with random people, just vibing.
Roll a
Rowan has
d6
been
for me.
tucked
See
away
if
in
you...
a room.
All right. Roll a
Well,
d6
what?
for me. See if you find if you talk to someone interesting. Okay. You eventually, like, talking to a couple people, a lot of them are kind of just boring, they're just rich snobs. You do find one person who is a, oil merchant, and he starts telling you about some of his wilder stories on the job. Tells you about a riot that happened up in Canada. I think Canada existed at this
Topical.
point. I don't know when Canada was founded, I'll be real.
I'ma keep it
Who
real
does?
with you. Does Canada exist?
Does Canada exist?
Are we sure?
Yeah. Rowan,
I've
you
never
find
been
yourself
there.
in some nice meditation in a dark room for 4 hours.
Okay. He's working on his gun.
He's
Like cleaning
astral
gun
projecting.
maintenance.
Yes.
All
Also,
right.
that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Is like astral projecting. So you know what?
All right. Eventually, the
Joe
rest of the
would-
brothers. What's up, Joe?
Joe would probably just be sitting outside,
Chilling and drilling.
probably wherever Ellen is. So probably the Denver house. She'd be sitting outside reading her book, but like also just watching.
You know,
Mhm.
just chilling, reading books,
Monitoring the situation.
People watch, people
experimenting with
watching,
hallucinogenics.
It's a boring
but
day
also
in Denver. It's a boring day in Denver. At some point, you do see a horse run by and a man running after it. Like, no, come back! As he runs across.
I write in the margins of my book what I just witnessed.
She writes down
Funny.
F.
And eventually the lost brother and Belle find their way back to the house. Money in tow.
Money and hoes.
Once we're all in like a private
Real bra
space, Ellen shows the money that Chase gave us as well.
All right, shall we? I still have the bagel in my mouth. Give me a sec.
Ew.
All right, shall we combine the efforts between Ellen and myself?
Oh, right. I fork over the money.
Indeed.
All right, so do I have a +8 to wealth now?
It seems that way.
Sure seems like it.
D10 +8.
That's what I call
Jeez Louise.
hacking. We done good.
Can we also just fork over some money and get her to the D12?
No.
I don't really think I need it, to be honest.
If you wanted to do that, it would be supporting. It would technically be a supporting role when she makes her role. Like.
Okay. I can't because I'm broke, but someone else could.
Fair enough.
Me IRL.
Okay. And then you guys want to make it, it's getting about nighttime now. Like it's reaching sunset.
I think it's about time to make our way over.
Yep.
Okay.
Squad roll out.
So you guys make your way. You wait for dusk to fall, and you start making your way out on the streets.
Should we travel separately?
Why?
Yeah, it might be best for me and Rose to like arrive first, at the very least.
I should
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like arrive. in the very, very, very back.
Yeah, Howie, me and you should hang out outside with positions just in case it goes bad.
I mean, because if
And
I
I
get
can
shot,
go
I only
in.
have one Benny.
Also, you
I
have a
can
rifle,
go
don't
in
you?
with
Have what?
Indiano, I guess.
You have a rifle?
Indiana.
I have a shotgun and
Father
a rifle,
Indigo.
yeah.
Yeah, so you and me can
Leave
hang
them
out
on fire.
outside. Use the
That
range to our
works.
advantage.
Works.
Okay.
So I guess we're traveling separately.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that.
Crisp burp.
You're welcome. I'm dripping.
Crisp. Is that good shit?
Like McDonald's Sprite crisp.
You
Right.
all.
Crisp.
You all, in certain moments and times, make your way to the cemetery under the cover of dark. Making your way to the cemetery, the doors, the gates to the cemetery would generally be closed at this hour. You see that today they are not; they are open.
That's pretty spooky, man.
Spooky.
Yeah, and you head inside. Let's see. I'm gonna swap to ominous music.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Well, hi.
I'm
Well, well, I'll
So-
be.
You guys find yourself moving between the buildings of the cemetery, seeing the graves nearby, but it's too dark to read their names as you pass through the cemetery. A fog has grown and just lingers over the ground. The air smells still, as if it hasn't moved in decades, even though you're outside. Don't like that.
I love the smell of death.
Dude,
In
my
the
cat's
fog.
going.
In the
Can I
fog,
roll
the
a
only
cult yet?
yeah, you can roll a cult if you would like.
Oh
I don't know
shit!
what you're rolling for, but you can
I'm
roll a
excited.
Shit.
I'm excited.
Oh,
hell!
cult. What do you want to know?
Well, I'll be.
What are you rolling?
I don't know.
for?
I just wanted to roll a cult.
Okay. I will say you rolled a success. I will say you recognize that this is perfect conditions for a summoning.
Oh
This
God.
is getting spooky, kids. Keep an eye out.
Who said that out loud to the group? Hey kids.
I think I was just traveling with Rowan, so only he hears.
As you guys are moving through the streets of the cemetery, with the fog starting to cover your path, the only thing that can keep you moving on the streets is the dim glow of candles every couple of buildings as you move throughout the streets of the cemetery, making your way towards God's garden. You go there, it's just sated. I heard you wanted some ghost rock.
Sorry, are you literally the devil?
Yeah, what about it?
Okay. take my money.
As you make your way towards the fountain, where you know the fountain is, you don't know if it's in your head or if it's in the environment, but it feels like it's getting colder as you move towards God's Garden. For whoever's in front, I don't remember your exact turn order or your...
Rose and Ellen.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Rose and Ellen, you guys are the first to see as you come up. God's Garden is beautifully lit. In this area with no light, God's Garden looks like some sort of sanctuary. And you see each entrance to the fountain has a man watching with their back to the insides of the fountain. They're watching out. As well as make a notice roll at -4.
Everybody?
Oh, man.
No, just the two of them. They're the first to get here.
I think it's safe to say Rose does not notice.
No.
Oh.
Great.
Okay, so that's all you see. I will say the darkness from night makes it difficult to see anything aside from the garden itself. And what do you
fair.
do?
Well, we approach well, I didn't see anybody that looks like they have a sack of ghost rock, right?
No?
I look for somebody who looks like they have a stack of ghost rock that I can give money and exchange
You
it
don't
for
see
goods and
them.
services.
Make a notice roll.
All right. Bruh. Oh, 4. Okay.
Okay, with 4, it's a different, Jagger, for your question, it's a different setting. It's a high school setting.
Okay. I was just so confused. I'm sorry.
East Texas University. It's a high school setting. I believe it's a supernatural high school, but I don't fully know.
Big pog.
Yeah, so with a 4, you can tell there are people inside of God's Garden. They're inside the building.
Oh wait, I assumed we were in the building. Okay, no, I think we had in the building.
Okay, so you head up.
Sorry. Yeah.
The guard stops you. He says, "I'm sorry, ladies. The fountain's currently closed."
Well, I believe we were told to meet in the Garden of Eden in order to make an exchange for some ghost rock.
A meeting. Do you have anything to
Yes.
prove said meeting?
I show them the letter.
He takes it, opens it. He doesn't read it. He just opens it, nods, closes it. It says, "Apologies. It appears the fountain is open today," and he steps out of the way.
Rose curtsies.
And you head in.
Indiano, we should probably wait outside.
I don't wish to go inside there.
Yes. We'll
I sense an evil presence.
we'll wait out here. Holler if you need anything. Love you. Be safe. Goodbye.
Good luck, bye.
Hey, bye. Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have
So
a good
what
day,
are the
people.
rest? What are the rest of you doing?
I think we should follow them in at this point. This is more spooky
Yeah.
than I was
Following.
It's
expecting.
Yeah, it's a shifty meeting in the middle of the night. Of course it's spooky.
Didn't expect there to be that many people.
Okay. So, who's heading in? Who's not? What's the
Howard.
positioning look like?
Is going in, but he doesn't want to at all.
Okay. So Howie, you step up after them, and the goon stops you, and he says, "The fountain's actually closed right now."
No, it's not. I'm with them.
Yeah, so you say no, it's not, and he instant reaction is to pull his coat aside so you can see his pistol.
I'll pull my coat aside. Rose, they're not letting me in.
Let me in!
I'm sorry.
Let my people go.
Mr. Fucking Indiano. I'm panicking quite. Mr. Howard is actually with me, actually. He's
I see. Apologies, miss. I didn't know we had hired muscle. And he takes a hand and like slaps you like a welcoming pat sort of, but you can tell it's not fully welcoming. Also is incredibly strong.
Rowan
Slap the
does not go
shit out
away
of
from
Howie.
this. He just finds some decent perspective of the inside and sits away.
how do we make a
Okay.
death saving throw?
So and then he steps aside to let you in. Rowan, are you in the darkness, like outside of the garden's light?
He's sitting way out in the darkness, scoped in on the inside.
Okay, those of you who are still outside, would you like to make a notice roll at -4?
I get -2 because of.
You have
stuff.
-2 because of danger sense.
Hey, still 6.
Hey.
Okay. So Rowan, you notice within the darkness as your eyes begin to adjust, Aaron sees it too, I believe. No, never mind. He is -4. He doesn't see it. Rowan, you notice there are more men in the darkness. They are standing at different tombstones as if they're pretending to be mourning. They might be mourning, but there's a lot more men around, probably somewhere around 5 to 6 in the darkness.
Go comfort them.
Can
Give them a
Rowan
hug.
just hide? He does not want
I
them
can
to
smell
see
your
him
sadness.
go and
Yeah.
hide.
Roll stealth.
Padre, you have work to do. There are
Oh,
mourning
thank you.
people out there.
I'm actually gonna use curse gold on that.
Your people are
Okay.
mourning.
You're gonna give me some cursed gold?
Success. That's all that matters.
Okay. What about the others? Indiano and Joe?
Yes.
What
I
are you
thought
guys
we were
up to?
staying outside.
Yeah, so what are you doing?
Dig a
I'm
hole.
patiently watching
I'm not
the
digging a
obvious
hole.
vampire.
What is your
I am
positioning?
listening.
Well, that's hard to say based on the map here.
Are you in the light or outside the light? Are you in the darkness
In
or are
the
you
light.
in the light?
No, we're in the light. We're
Light.
very obvious.
I am a holy man. I stay in the light.
Okay. So it's just Rowan who's hidden, and you guys are just kind of chilling.
Vibing.
We're vibing.
All right.
That blueberry
Rowan, big
potato
brain.
thing.
Inside the fountain, those who are inside, Howie, Ellen, and Rose. You see a lovely fountain, 4 benches in the cardinal directions of the fountain. A cupid in the middle of the fountain squirting water out of its mouth into the fountain.
Oh.
Out of its
Listen, most Cupid statues are pissing. That's just fact.
Yeah.
That's literally just fact.
And you see,
Cannot hear spitting straight facts.
you see, sitting on one of those benches is Mr. Romani. There is another figure against the wall in the corner of the room. It's a woman with red hair. She looks like this. I'll show you her thing. Faye Devane.
Fuck, Faye Devane. Oh, bitch.
She's pretty hot, not gonna lie.
Yeah, she a little sexy.
She's like, fuck.
Yeah. She's just leaned against the wall in the corner of the room, behind Mr. Romani, and she sees you guys enter, and the only thing she does is she just brings her hat down a bit, and then just brings her coat aside so she can access her guns easily, and just continues just to lean against the wall.
Rose curtsies to her.
Would I be able to match the face with the name at all?
Roll academics.
I don't have that. Why did I ask?
Alright, Rowan, from Faye's current position, you wouldn't be able to see her.
Can I try and get to a place where I could?
Unfortunate.
No, it would be impossible to see. I guess there's one doorway that would see her. It would involve going
Anti-poggers,
around.
everybody.
Okay, so Ellen, you rolled a critical failure.
Yeah, I sure did. Thanks for noticing.
I rolled a 4?
What can I do to Ellen? I don't think there's anything I can do for this critical failure. I don't think this is... I think it's just you're having trouble adjusting to the bright lights in this chamber.
Fair enough.
I'm guessing they got history.
Okay.
Maybe...
This is Faye
recognize
Devane.
her?
Yeah. The leader of the Pain of the Vein gang.
I wrote it down. I also wrote it. Her name was Fane Devane, because I'm bad. But I got it.
Yeah, I definitely wrote down who she was, but I knew that me as a character had never seen her face, so I wanted to know if I could put 2 and 2 together for further investigation.
Yes.
I got a 4 in academics.
Yes, that's Faye Devane. Congratulations.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear.
All right. Vincent Romani stands up, dusts off his suit a bit, and says, "Glad you found the place okay. I hope it didn't give you any trouble."
I assure you, I had no difficulties.
Yeah. I apologize. There'd usually be someone else here to do this deal in my place, but with what happened to you at the hotel, we thought it best that I come personally.
No worries, Mr. Romani. I do have one request. I know I had originally requested $150 worth of Ghost Rock, but in the past few days I've used up more of my back supply in my experiments than I thought I would. Is there any chance I can up that number by 100 and get $250 worth of Ghost Rock?
Roll a persuasion check.
Hypothetically, I'm good at this.
And you do get a free reroll.
But by luck.
I do get a free reroll. 14.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. He thinks for a moment. He says, for anybody willing to spend more money under such circumstances, I am happy to oblige, and I believe we do have 250 on hand, though it's cutting it rather close. He looks at Devane, says, is that about right? She doesn't move, but you can see just barely her eyes just watching everybody in the room from her lowered hat. She says, she just says, "That's right, Mr. Romani."
Fuck. Alright, well. Can't say we need more because we've already set a number. Alright, that will do. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So he
knew we were gonna try it.
He steps forward into the fountain. Actually, let me check something first. Okay. Yes. He steps into the fountain.
Same. Power move.
Rose does a
And
bit of a double take, but
he goes over to the Cupid and grabs its hand, its like left hand, and twists it and pulls it off. And you hear a like of like a wine glass, the same noise a wine glass would make, and it pulls it off, and a key falls out. He catches it, goes to the base's statue, and does something with the key, and the water stops. The Cupid stops spewing out water.
Where does the water go?
The water seeps out of the fountain into grates that just lead it underwater or underground somewhere. And he says, I know this might seem strange. It's one of the many spots that we use to keep our goods safe from usually smugglers and grave robbers. They tend to get creative. And he goes over.
Mr. Romani, whatever
Yes?
you need to do, you need to do. Fear no judgment from me. You simply get what I need, and I don't complain.
Well, I appreciate the simplicity in his chaotic times. He goes over and uses the backside of the key, and he stabs it into the tiling below the fountain and rips it up. A cube of this like tiling pops up, and he moves it to the side. And from your current position, not being able to look into it, you just see this green glow come from within.
What I know, does Ghost Rock usually glow green?
Roll a common knowledge. See if you've come into contact with a lot of Ghost Rock.
Always
Ghost
trust
Rock-
your dealer.
Ghost Rock does have a glow to it, a small glow to it.
Nice.
He then says, Miss Devane, if you could collect the money from our buyers here. She gets up from her post, walks towards you. She makes sure to does it really slow and intimidating. You can hear her boots clicking on the tile as she walks over to you.
Rose turns to Faye and curtsies and says, Miss Faye, it's an honor to meet you.
I'm sure.
And then she hands the money. Time for #wealth roll.
Yeah, roll a wealth roll at -4, which you have +8, so it becomes a wealth roll at +4.
All right, I'm gonna use cursed gold to re-roll that. That's not
Gold.
With a
That's not in the
+4, that
graveyard.
is a success with a raise.
Yep. Wait,
So
would that mean I don't lose any
you don't
money?
lose. Yeah, your wealth die doesn't drop.
What do multiple successes do?
Nothing.
Just kidding. I'm gonna keep it. I would like
Okay.
that gold back.
Yeah.
Right click,
So
take card.
you hand her the gold. She takes it, counts it. Or sorry, this was 250 gold.
Yeah.
Okay, that's more. -4 was up for the 150, so 250
Yeah.
would be a -6.
In that case, I think I will re-roll then.
Okay. So you've got a +2 on the roll.
Oof. That's a second cursed gold. Why can I not? Okay, so that's the first one. That's the second one. Bruh.
This is
Okay.
rigged.
No, third. That's not. There we go.
Okay.
That's better.
So with an 11 total, your wealth die does not drop for $250. You hand it over. She looks at it, closes the bag, just ties it to her hip, says to Mr. Romani, I believe we have a correct amount here, Mr. Romani. And she goes back to the corner of the room. Mr. Romani claps, like does a really strong, loud clap, just excellent. And he says, if you'd like to come here, you can see the goods for yourself. If you would like to.
I would indeed.
Yeah.
And
You go
Rose walks
over.
I'd like to stop Rose.
You want to stop Rose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
Although I do trust Mr. Romani, I do appreciate your willingness, Howard. You may go forth.
I'll go.
Okay. So Howard, you step into the fountain.
Rose hates
moving
talking
past,
like this, by the way.
You step into the fountain, peering into the hole in the tiles, the green glow covering your body as you look over it, and you see this is filled with ghost rock, an ungodly amount of ghost rock. Even just the wind passing by, you hear very tiny screams.
Aw, so adorable.
So do we just grab a sack, start shoveling?
That's one way to do it. I would be careful. Ghost rock, I don't know if you've dealt with it before, but it does tend to be a little volatile.
Yes, Mr. Howard.
How would you recommend?
Please use the most care.
I would recommend careful by hand.
Okay. I'll start.
Yeah.
Carefully by hand.
Yeah, picking up and putting in a sack.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You pick it up, start putting these large chunks of ghost rock into here. As you go through all of the stock that's in there, they let you go through all of it, and make a notice roll for me.
Quick question. Can I at this can while he's doing this, can I walk up and watch as well as talk to Romani?
Sure. What are you saying?
So, Mr. Romani, these are particularly large chunks of ghost rock. Are they not?
Sometimes our suppliers find bigger veins than normal. We don't like to cut them down to size since we sell to large bidders.
That is the truth. I will say it is convenient to buy all my ghost rock at one place instead of going to much smaller venues as I usually do. May I ask? Go ahead.
I'm glad we could provide a reliable service.
All right, thank you so much. I'm trying to think of a tactful way to try to figure out who the supplier is.
Ellen would also like to sidle up to Mr. Romani and say, now, I know you briefly mentioned it, but of course you know what our group had to go through at the Denver house. And I 100% do not believe that you were involved in that. But might you know who is?
Roll a notice.
Can I also be inspecting the ghost rock transfer?
If you want to roll notice for the ghost rock, sure. Okay. You see as There's no emotional change in Romani's face as he talks about it. He says, yes, truly a tragedy. I'm very sorry you had to go through that. We did actually check into what knowledge we could gain from them. It seemed most of them didn't make it through the day. Those who did died of their wounds later on. They appear to actually be members of Miss Devane's gang herself that got a little bit too curious, and we do apologize for that. We'll be keeping...
Understandable.
We'll be keeping more eyes on her men from here on out. Ain't that right, Miss Devane? And he doesn't look back to her, and she just nonchalantly, yes, that's right, Mr. Romani.
I assure you, there are no hard feelings.
Ellen, with your notice roll, I will say you do note from Miss Devane that her hat being down, it's not down in your direction, it's down in Mr. Romani's direction.
Oh, interesting. She's scared.
All right, so Rose, you're making a nose check to. Oh, you failed it. Never mind.
Yeah, I failed. It's no big. And then, although
Howard, did you want to do any rerolls for that check, or is that the final notice?
I'm saving my last penny.
Okay.
Actually, I will use a Benny to reroll that. Unlikely that I will succeed, but it's always worth a try.
Oh, yeah.
Where is notice? There's notice.
Are you rerolling? All right, you're rerolling.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not giving you that, Benny. Fuck you.
Go fuck yourself.
Gosh, that wound has fucked you guys on so many occasions.
It fucked me so hard. Dude.
I want to fucking die.
I've rolled so many 3s. It's so sad. And then I do have a question, and I realize I'm unlikely to get an answer, but may I ask where you get your source of ghost rock? It would be fascinating to find out where such large chunks can be found. Most of the mines that I've found get it removed in smaller chunks. I'm hoping for a persuasion roll.
I'll
That's
allow
the
a
only thing I'm
persuasion
good
roll.
at.
Just to see how much information he gives from this.
That's my first.
Jesus Christ.
Cursed gold. I want information, dang it.
Anti-fog.
Another one.
You see that 9 per gold?
There we
Hey.
go.
Finally.
It
Okay.
is.
He's at 10 cursed gold.
5 of those were mine. I've given him
yeah.
5 in possession.
Normally he would not give away his source, but you did get 2 raises.
And I would like to think I've been exceedingly pleasant and compliant this whole time.
I'm gonna roll a spirit for Romani.
Feel it.
If he succeeds, I'm gonna fucking riot.
Okay.
We hear him set down his fork.
Just a distant clink.
Okay. So he says,
Are you okay, Ben?
he says,
I'm fine.
Oh.
as with all sources in town, we do get our supply from the Black Hills itself, though we do have places here and there that we store it. For a client like yourself, we could always bring you over for a closer look if you would like to see the manufacturing itself. Maybe even meet the mentor with his permission, of course.
I would be very grateful to do such a thing.
It's less suspicious than one. Oh no.
Yeah, he definitely dodged the question, but like,
That's less suspicious.
I'm not mad about that at all. I'm not mad that I had to spend 4 gold in order to get a 13, and he just rolled a 9. I'm not mad about that.
Not bitter at all.
That was a roll for me
not
personally
mad
to
at
see how
all.
willing he is to give information in a different circumstance. Because like this is information, or this is an offer he would never give normally.
Yeah.
It says, excellent. If you have time tonight, we could get something in the works tonight. Or if you'd like, I could send another guest to escort you at a later date. I know it's fairly late and not a lot of people like to deal their business at night.
I don't particularly mind. A lot of people fear the dark because there's a lot that they don't know. And personally,
There sure is.
Oh,
God.
fuck.
That was
if I make
ominous.
no harm to what I don't know, then what I don't know has no reason to harm me.
Very well. Then when your associates are done collecting the ghost rock, we can make our way further.
Sounds wonderful to me, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Girl, you need to chill. All
To
right.
clarify.
So he speaks out. He talks back. He turns around to talk to Miss Devane. He says, Miss Devane, I'm going to be heading on my way for the time being. I will leave my associates to accompany you until your business is done here. I'm going to go ahead to talk to my associate, my client, and then I will send someone back to escort everyone along. Faye she doesn't reply, she just does a tip of the hat, of her already lowered hat. And he just kind of mutters a little bit, excellent, and turns back to you and says, I will be back shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Romani.
Yeah. And Mr. Romani walks out. Those of you outside see Mr. Romani walk out, heading out of the cemetery.
All right.
Which I think for all of you, this is the first time. For all of you, this is the first time you've seen Mr. Romani.
Yes.
Do I notice which way he goes?
He is heading out of the cemetery. That's as much as you can see in the moment. Unless you want to follow.
Nah.
Yeah,
I
probably
don't
not.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Nah.
I wanna
That's how
stay
you
on this-
disappear into an alley.
I want to
do
stay
like
on this man's
him.
good side for literally as long as possible.
Yeah.
Moving back as Mr. Romani walks away. He doesn't have a horse, he just walks. And enters the darkness, and then everyone loses sight of him.
He's a vampire.
There goes my man into the mist.
There goes my
my hero. Watch him
Within-
as he goes.
Back
order
within
me.
God's garden, Miss Devane takes a deep breath, releases a deep exhale, just and tips her hat back up to look at you guys more directly. And that is where we will end our session for the night.
Oh, big set.
Poggers, dude. I just hit the fattest dab, but none of you could see it.
Because you're lame.
I'm hitting the dabs for you, Ben.
So yeah, that is our session. Thank you for watching, everybody. For watching Dead in Denver in Search of Ghosts. Father Aarón Indiano is played by Jagger. Ellen Meyer is played by Jesse. Howard Euchre Whateley is played by Ethan. Josephine Thrombly is played by Brenna. Rose Ward is played by Ben, and Rowan Heally is played by Mijo. We'll see you next time.